Good morning. I'm Hassan Giordano, and this is your DMV Daily Dose for Wednesday, January 8th, 2020.
It's currently clear and 30 degrees in Baltimore. Expect wind and clear skies starting in the afternoon. Today's high will be 41 degrees, and the low will be 28.
Well, we're only 1 week into the new year, but Baltimore's elected officials have already gotten a pay raise for the year, or so says a recent article in the Baltimore Brew. Effective just last Wednesday, Mayor Bernard C. Jack Young's salary jumped from $185,000 a year to just under $190,000. Comptroller Joan Pratt and City Council President Brandon Scott will each see a $3,000 pay increase in 2020 from $122,387 to $125,447. Vice President Sharon Green Middleton's salary has risen from $78,679 to $80,646, while the pay for all 14 council members climbed from slightly above $71,000 to $73,000. Now, under city and state law, Baltimore's elected officials are entitled to an automatic 2.5% pay raise so long as at least one unionized employee group gets a pay raise for that year. Now, in the most recent city budget, ASME employees received a 3% cost of living adjustment. While the new salaries for electeds have already gone into effect this year, they will officially be noted at today's Board of Estimates meeting. Now, Maryland Matters' Hannah Gaskell is reporting the Maryland General Assembly session opening later today will open up with one new senator and 5 new delegates serving in the 188-member legislative chambers. The senator is a member of the House who will be sworn in today. The new delegates have been in office anywhere from 8 months to 1 day, but none was serving during the 2019 legislative session. Here's a look at the 6 newcomers. Senator Charles Sidnor III, a Democrat from Baltimore County, was appointed to the Senate late last month by Governor Larry Hogan to replace former state Senator Shirley Nathan Pulliam, who resigned in November for health reasons. He will serve on the Judicial Proceedings Committee. Delegate Shanika Henson, a Democrat from Anne Arundel County, was sworn into the House in May of 2019, following the death of former Speaker Michael Bush. A 36-year-old delegate will serve on the Appropriations Committee. Carl Jackson, Democrat from Baltimore County, who became the first African-American ever and the only African-American to represent the western part of Baltimore County, holds a position on the Economic Matters Committee, the Pedestrian and Bicycle Committee for Baltimore County, and the Legislative Black Caucus. The 35-year-old Jackson replaced former delegate Eric Bromwell, who resigned earlier in the fall of 2019. Delegate Catherine Forbes, a Democrat from Baltimore County, became a member of the House of Delegates in late October. The 54-year-old Forbes will serve on the House Appropriations Committee and is a member of the Women Legislators of Maryland. She took the place of former Delegate Stephen Lafferty, who resigned to take a job with Baltimore County government. Now, Delegate Nicole Williams, a 42-year-old, was sworn into the House of Delegates earlier last month and will serve as a member of the Judiciary Committee. She is also a member of the Legislative Black Caucus and Women Legislators of Maryland. She filled the vacancy left by former Delegate Tawana Gaines, who resigned and was sentenced to 6 months in federal prison for wire fraud. Sworn in on Tuesday afternoon was Delegate Michael Griffith, a Republican from Harford County. The 42-year-old was appointed to the Maryland House of Delegates late last month by Governor Hogan to replace former Delegate Andrew Casserly, who resigned to accept the position as an advisor to the governor. Now, more legislators and new lawmakers are on the way, as there are currently 3 vacancies in the legislature. A state Senate seat is created by the resignation of former Senator Robert Bobby Zirkin, a Democrat from Baltimore County, a House seat created by the resignation of former Delegate Cheryl Glenn here in the city of Baltimore in the 45th District, and the vacancy created when Sidnor was elevated to the Senate. Now, DMVDailyNews is reporting on Governor Hogan's package of bills aiming to impose tough new ethics reform laws, as well as crime-fighting legislation. The recently crowned most popular governor in America unveiled a new package of tough ethic reforms to address a culture of corruption among Maryland public officials that last year alone witnessed over a half a dozen elected officials and their associates charged and or convicted for crimes that occurred while in public office. Governor Hogan says it has become clear in recent months and recent weeks that a pervasive culture of corruption continues to exist, and that even tougher and more stringent laws are needed. He says that the Ethics and Accountability in Government Act of 2020 he's introducing will strengthen and toughen the state ethics laws in an effort to help restore the public's trust and bring further transparency, accountability, and honesty to Annapolis. Now, to find out more about the entire package of bills being introduced by the governor this session, go over to our website at www.DMVDailyNews. And the Maryland General Assembly is set to convene later today at noon to start the 90-day legislative session of 2020. And this will be a historic first day in Annapolis, following the death of House Speaker Michael Bush, a Democrat from Anne Arundel County who had led the House chamber from 2003 until he died on the second to the last day of last year's General Assembly session. In a special May 1st session of last year, delegates elected Baltimore County Democrat Adrian Jones to succeed him. And later today, when she takes that gavel at noon, she will become Maryland's first African-American and first female to be Speaker of the House. Now, across the hall, Senate President Thomas Mike Miller plans to turn over his gavel after more than 3 decades of leadership. The Calvert County Democrat is the longest serving Senate president in the nation's history. He will turn over his gavel and return to his seat on the floor of the chamber as a Democratic senator, while Democratic Senator Bill Ferguson of Baltimore City is expected to be elected as the new Senate president. DMV Daily News plans to live stream from Annapolis today starting at noon. Be sure to tune into our Facebook page at DMV Daily News. And in case you missed last night's Power Pack program, where we hosted 4 of the leading candidates for mayor, including former Baltimore City Police Department spokesman T.J. Smith, State Senator Mary Washington, City Council President Brandon Scott, and former Mayor Sheila Dixon, you want to go on over and watch that informative show on our Facebook page at DMV Daily News. And I'm your man, Mr. Politics, and this has been your DMV Daily Dose for Wednesday, January the 8th, 2020. For more information on the articles that I've mentioned, just go on over to our website, www.dmvdaily.news.